Welcome to a little bit of Playing in the Lab, Networking with Fishstyle. We're going to go ahead and do a quick few YouTubes on the Spirent Network Emulator. Basically, it's an impairment tool that I've been using recently. For years, I've been using the WAN bridge. It's free, it's simple. I can make a VM out of it, toss it into a UCS, and instead of the Spirent Network Emulator there between Cat9K20 and Cat9K40, I could have a UCS, have the physical interface go into the UCS, up to the VM, and then out another physical interface or a trunk, and then out to Cat9K40. And then I can cause delay or loss. WAN bridge is fantastic. Again, it's free. I've been using it for years. The issue is that it doesn't necessarily offer me the granularity at all that I may want or need sometimes. Basically, what it does is it does the exact same. It follows one set of instructions. So let's say that I want to go ahead and have 10% loss is the impairment that I want to do. So the traffic comes in from 20, goes through the VM. I'm supposed to have 10% loss, and then it goes out to 40, and it does 10% loss on all of that. Not like, let's look on a stream, it's going to be BGP, OSPF, everything. In, out, 10% loss. Same in the other direction, from Cat 9K40, up, 10% loss, out. So I could really use a little bit more granularity sometimes. So we're going to go ahead and use the Spirent Network Emulator, and we're going to use the Spirent test centers and some pings, and we're going to play. So basically what we have is off of Cat9K10, I have that test center port, that 3.9 in the circle, and off of that Spirent test center port, I have a host being emulated, 10.1.2.100. So that's again off of Cat9K10, and then off of the test center port 310, off of Cat9K40, I have another host being emulated by the Spirent test center, which is 10.40.41.100. I have a simple traffic going back and forth to each other. If you also notice between Cat9K20 and Cat9K40, I have the Spirent Network Emulator. Cat9K20 goes out gigabit 103, goes into port 3 on the Spirent Network Emulator. Then it does whatever impairment's supposed to do, and then it goes out of the SNA port number 4, and then up to the Cat9K40 on gigabit 103. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go and look at the Spirent test centers, which is that big pink thing. So again, what I have is, I don't have it running yet, as you can see, but I have two simple streams. We're going to go ahead and start it. So 10.1.2.100 as a source is supposed to talk to 10.40.41.100. 10.40.41.100 is supposed to talk to 10.1.2.100. And if we look here, everything's working. Everything's beautiful. My latency is non-existent. Everything's in order. I have no drops. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and go into the SNA. We're going to go into the GUI, and we're going to initiate a capture on the SNA. So if we go into the SNA, that's this guy right here, and we see that we actually have parsed it out into two unidirectional lines. So we have Cat9K20 over here connected into port 3 on the SNE, and then going out port 4 and then out to Cat9K40. Cat9K40 over here coming into port 4 on the SNE, across to port 3 and then out to the Cat9K20. What I like about this, also you can tell the directions, is I can actually come here and add a Wireshark tap. So what I'm looking at is, what I should see is I should see everything that is going from Cat9K20 out that wire over to Cat9K40, but only in that direction. So let's go ahead and start that. So if we start this, I'm doing no loss, I'm doing no impairment, I'm doing no filtering, I'm just doing a simple tap. So we can see from here my simple tap, 10.1.2.100 talking to 10.40.41.100. Only in one direction. Now, this is everything here, so if we had some OSPF or BGP or CDP, you would also see that pop up here as well. So let's go ahead and stop that, and I'm going to remove this tap. Now, the next thing we're supposed to do is, we already viewed the capture, is we're just supposed to start playing with impairments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back into here, and we're just going to impair everything. And so we're going to come over here, and I'm just going to say, let's go find an impairment. And let's say that I'm going to add delay in one direction, and I'm going to add drops in another direction. Oh, and by the way, in a little bit, I'm actually going to do some filters, so I might as well go ahead and get some filters. So let's do a protocol filter and another protocol filter. So I'll just go ahead and add that for now. It's going to put that up there. It's actually a reminder to me that that's what I want to do next. So sometimes I do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here and we're going to hover near the line. As soon as we hover near the line and the line goes blue, we can then release the disruptor or whatever it is we're trying to put on the line, and it will automatically add to the line. If you move this around and the line doesn't move, you haven't been added to the line. If those two little faucets don't show up on either side, you haven't been added to the line. So right now, we're going to go ahead and say that I want to go ahead and impact everything, and I want a huge amount of delay. So down here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have 10% loss. And I'm going to go ahead and run, but what we're going to look at is we're going to go to the Spirent Test Center and we're going to see that what I'm expecting is the traffic from 10.1.2 traffic going out 9K20 towards 9K40 should have everything should get a delay in it, 300. From 9K40 to 9K20, 10% loss. So if we come over here and look at this, we see the 300. So that's Cat 9K, so that's going from left to right. So that's the 300 that we expected. But this right here is not the 10% loss that I expected. Why is it not the 10% loss? Is the impairment tool not doing what it's supposed to do? No, actually it is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's dropping 10 frames per second. As you remembered, I said I was actually sending 100 frames per second. That's 10%. This percentage that you see right here as it's slowly incrementing is over all of these numbers. So we're going to go ahead and clear. And now we're at about 10% loss. Cool? So it's just that simple. It's great. Let's go ahead and stop this. And what we're going to do is let's actually cause impairment only on ICMP. So let's come in over here and come in over here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look in here, and this is a ICMP, right? So ICMP. So anything that is an ICMP should pass this IP protocol filter ICMP. So it passes it, then towards the towards 80, we should get 300 for delay. Now, what do I want to do with my Spirent Test Center traffic and everything else? I want it to still go ahead and go through. So if you failed the filter, if you weren't what I cared about, I still want you to go ahead and go through. So we're going to do the same thing over here. So we're going to create a failed link, and then we're going to go. So basically what's supposed to happen? Well, a ping, an ICMP echo, is supposed to get delayed in one direction and loss in the other, but nothing should happen to my Spirent Test Center traffic. So let's look. So if we go back to the Spirent Test Center traffic and we do a clear, what we'll see is I have no loss, so the loss is gone and the delay is gone. And that's because of the fact that this was not ICMP. Now let's be evil and do some ICMP. So let's do a show IP route, and let's ping 10.100.100.40. And we actually have a bunch of, so all of our delay is this much. Now, I only sent out 5 ICMP echoes, and the echo reply was on the back. So it's very possible that I just didn't have enough to do the drops so that we actually saw it from a 10% perspective. But as we can see, I did get hit with the 300. So let's go ahead and kill that. So if we stop this, actually let's completely stop the impairment, right? So let's stop the impairment, and let's go ahead and delete this filter and delete this filter. Now if we do that, we have to actually create the link again. which is fine. I delete these things all the time, so it's kind of sort of cool. So delete the filter and delete the corruptor, and then add the link from here to here. And if we do this, what we see is that I have no problems whatsoever. And so if I come back here and I do the ping, that's it, no delay. So that's basically the Spirent Network Emulator in the nutshell, with some very, very, very simple, fast things that you can do with it. Next up, some more complex ones. Hope you're having fun in the lab, networking with Fishstyle. See ya.